For more on the crisis in Ukraine, I'm joined by Anthony Salvia in New York City. He is the executive director for the American Institute in Ukraine. Thanks for joining us this evening.
You're most welcome.
What do you make of the EU's decision to delay implementation of the new sanctions as it recently agreed to? You know, they say they want to monitor the ceasefire, but is there more to it than that?
Well, I think the decision to delay reflects some of the divisions within the European camp that your reporter, your correspondent was just referring to. The fact that certain key countries like Finland, Hungary, Slovakia, Cyprus, Austria don't go along with this. They question, you know, what impact, what positive impact are these sanctions having? They don't see any, and they see the economic impact to themselves. They see the boomerang effect that's coming back on them, and they're questioning this whole thing as a strategy. So they're waiting to see. I think this reflects some of the division, and then there are other countries that don't express themselves quite so openly. But you know, I was in Germany and Austria just last week talking to people, and there's a lot of concern there, not expressed so openly in Germany. Like, what is this leading to? This is a major trading partner of Russia. Do we need this kind of conflict going on with them? And so I think that's what's behind it.
Well, we have both the presidents of Ukraine and Russia talking to one another. Do you think any more progress has been made toward a political solution? How important are the next few days as we continue to watch the ceasefire?
Well, I think they're very important. The ceasefire is holding with some violations, but basically it's holding. There's some unhappiness with the ceasefire on both sides. There are political elements in Kiev who are part of the governing coalition with Poroshenko who are unhappy that the ceasefire has taken place, and that if it has to be, they want to use the ceasefire as an occasion to build up forces in the east, to then have a renewed kind of assault in the east to achieve the objectives. Remember, Poroshenko was elected promising that he would reverse the situation in the east and retain these eastern provinces within the Ukrainian Republic. So he's under pressure to deliver on that promise. By the same token, the Russians, a lot of the pro-Russian forces in East Ukraine were on a roll. You know, they had reversed the situation that had been going against them just as about like a week and a half ago, and we're moving down to the Sea of Azov and then on to Mariupol, which is a major strategic objective, and they were halted dead in their tracks before they could take over Mariupol. So consequently, they're just sort of chomping at the bit to get back at it. And so, you know, it's a question of what's really going to happen there. I think politically, Putin wants Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, wants an end to it. And I think even Poroshenko must realize that Russia will not give in on this, that this is probably a no-win situation for him. So consequently, they both have an incentive to try to make the ceasefire work, but beyond the ceasefire, to arrive at a negotiated settlement.
Well, and it's not just the EU. The United States is also delaying the next round of sanctions, waiting until the EU acts. So what's the likelihood that either side will even move forward on that?
On the sanctions?
Yes.
I think that you know, the Europeans say they will. They're quasi committed to doing it. The Russians have said. Prime Minister Medvedev said recently that there would be asymmetrical retaliation. That's also one of the reasons why the Europeans are hesitating here. What does that really mean? Asymmetrical retaliation. So, and we also saw that yesterday. Shuvalov was in Peking, in China, and was arriving at agreements with the Chinese that would tend to already undermine what the Europeans are talking about doing. In other words, the Chinese and the Russians are working out deals that would ease, you know, financing for Russian energy projects, which the European sanctions are meant to shut down. So not only will there be a boomerang effect on the Europeans, but in any case, the sanctions will be ineffective because of what the kinds of deals that Moscow is arriving at with Peking. So you know, the Europeans really don't want this. It's the Americans who are putting them up to it.
All right, we'll leave it there. Anthony Salvia, thank you so much for joining us from New York.
You're most welcome, Elaine.